Hey guys, I've had a lot of people ask me to just post these quick little update videos when we come out with a new hotfix, patch, update, whatever we want to call it. And this seems to be a pretty big and significant one, not just with the amount of bug changes that are coming into play here, but at the same time, some of the class balancing that they've decided to meddle with, we'll say. So, first things first, we're going to go through the bug fixes, maybe talk about it a little bit, maybe just read them out, but we'll go from there. So first thing they did is they fixed an issue where casting a hide as a rogue after the giant worm in ruins burrowed underground would cause the giant worm to visually appear as if it was burrowing again when stealth was broken, kind of like an endless animation trap. And they took that out. They fixed an issue where axe specialization caused frannies to exceed the intended values when used by a barbarian. Thank God. As a wizard main, just thank God. All right. Fix an issue where Savage Roar, cast by Barbarian at the moment a monster with a battle intro appeared, could cause the monster's actions to stop. Good. Good. Fix an issue where hitting the forehead of a druid in panther form might not register as a valid hit. That's awesome. I feel like there's been multiple times in arenas, or I crystal sword, or fireball, or who knows what, a panther directly in the head, and they still live. And they actually, end up taking more damage as panther and still living. So that's good to see. Fixed an issue where jumping or crouching after casting a druid spell could cause the visual effects to unnaturally linger in midair. Great for you. Fixed an issue where certain effects in Sorcerer's Wind Blast did not properly scale down with distance. That's interesting. See, I didn't even know actually that they were supposed to scale down with distance. That's good to know. It's really good to know. Fix Sorcerer's OP, right? No, I'm kidding. Fix an issue where Electric Dash allowed the sorcerer to reach locations where they could avoid crow damage. Ah, all right. Sorcerers being the new rogues. Fix an issue where casting a spell barehanded while using an in-game emote as sorcerer could prevent the emote from being canceled. Okay, that's just funny, honestly. They had to put time into that to fix that. I don't know why, but they did. Fix an issue where Soul Collector might not accumulate soul stacks when using Flamewalker and Phantomize as a Warlock. I did not know that that was an issue with Warlock. I have not heard anyone who plays Warlock complain about that, but I'm sure they're happy that that is fixed nonetheless. Fix an issue where Bloodstained Blade caused thrown weapon damage to increase beyond intended design. There's a lot of beyond intended design, isn't there? Fix an issue where a Warlock equipped with both Soul Collector and Shadow Touch could collect 2 Dark Shards instead of 1 when executing an enemy with 2 or less HP in melee combat. Yeah. Warlock cheeses are the best. Fix an issue where the wall on the left side rather than the right hand reaching out could interfere when casting a spell while holding a spell book. Let's go. Oh, gosh. I just wish I had like a B-roll compilation of clips right now to roll of just all the book slaps. All of the book slaps. Okay. Anyway, fix an issue where some ground monsters in Goblin Caves might not move properly. Okay. Fix an issue where, what is this? The Skeleton Swordsman's low sweeping attack, which was supposed to occur at a certain probability, might not trigger at all. I thought it dealt with the spacing between where you baited the attack out and not. And maybe that's just what they hate is we're able to control kind of the probability of the mechanics. And they want it more randomized, possibly. I don't know. Fix an issue where the Spectral Knight could leave the boss room. Thank God we finally fixed that. That's been around a little bit longer than we should admit. Fix an issue where the Ghost King could become stuck on the floor roster, preventing movement. That sucks. The amount of times too many teams push into an area, everybody's fighting each other, and just something happens and Ghost King gets stuck. And then even if you survive all the third parties, you don't get to kill the boss. Fix an issue where the living statue could appear to teleport during combat. Okay. Fix an issue where the harpy could appear to teleport with each kick attack. Let's see here. Fix an issue where some monsters in Crypt and Inferno might have delayed player recognition. Yeah, it does seem kind of like there's a large lag of them not recognizing their aggro table, almost. Fix an issue in High Roller Inferno where defeating the Death Skull from the Hellwind module would not allow interaction, preventing players from receiving rewards. This is funny to me because the amount of times that people have come across those dead Death Skulls and they see that you can't loot them and they immediately assume boss rooms nearby because boss Death Skulls are usually the only ones you cannot loot after killing them when in actuality it's just a really crappy bug. Fix an issue where Druid's rat form could be used to move outside the map at certain locations in Goblin Caves. Just Goblin Caves? Okay, we'll work on the other maps later. Sure. Fix an issue in the Goblin Cave Ant's Nest module where players could pass through a very specific wall. Yeah, all right. I feel like we should get screenshots with some of these. They fixed an issue where background props and some modules of the Frost Mountain might be placed in unintended locations. They fixed an issue in the Frost Mountain Imp Ritual Room where players could get stuck between a specific chest and wall. I'm happy they're looking at some of that stuff. For a lot of solo players, that is really big on their gameplay. Fix an issue where a trap hole in a specific spot of the Frost Mountain Hive module could cause the Druid's rat form to fall and become trapped. I feel like we could have left that one. No hate. Fix an issue where setting visual effects quality to medium or low could cause LOD issues in some parts of the Frost Wyvern boss room just by rotating the camera. Okay. These are actually some good quality fixes. Fix an issue where the iron gate of an activated down portal could remain closed. I have died to this twice. I was trying to run to a red. Team has died. I'm the last one alive. I have 2 HP. Let me in there. No, I just get executed by the barbarian chasing me when I get hit by the wall of the iron gate. They fixed an issue where bushes and other objects on the map could prevent monsters from detecting players. I didn't know that. I still just played accordingly. They fixed an issue in some ruins modules where players could climb walls and appear to be floating above the module. Okay, I knew about a couple of those. I don't abuse them, but I knew about it. Fix an issue in Ruins Broken Bridge where players could not pick up scattered gold and silver coins on the ground. Okay. Okay. They fixed an issue in the Ruined Stables module, where certain stone walls of the same height had inconsistent climbability. Okay. I feel like that's something that they should be focused on a lot of ruins, not in just very specific ones. But I think I know which walls they're talking about because there's a point of the wall on what is it, the north wall by the torch where you need to it's very inconsistent, and when you jump up and you go to the layer that's slightly lowered than where you jumped up, you can almost like slide off. I'm assuming that's something that they're talking about at the moment. They fixed an issue in some ruins modules where sound effects could sound muffled. I have that happen on a lot more than ruins, honestly. But okay, we're getting there. Fix an issue in the ruins barbican. The ruins barbican. I don't know barbican module where door opening sounds might not play correctly. Is it just me? I just don't recognize this. Ruins barbican module. I also end up calling a lot of modules different names than what they are actually named. Like Colosseum. We call Wheel Colosseum all the time on Crypts. Fix an issue in Crypts where the downstairs iron gate could open too quickly upon entering. Okay, cool. Fix an issue in the Crypt Center Tower module where some iron bars could be passed through by swinging a weapon. You can do the same thing with spells, actually. So hopefully, I wonder if that fixes it as well. Fix an issue where players could become stuck in the stairs of Inferno's Stairway of Agony, preventing movement. Awesome. That is just a horrible time. Just a horrible time. Fix an issue in the Inferno Demon Layers module where a lever placed in a certain location could be obscured from view. Fix an issue where the throwing time of Franny's was too fast. Hell yeah. All right. Hey, we're making some progress. I know a lot of barbs and fighters might be upset about that, but get over yourself. I'm sorry. Fix an issue where the hand animation could be skipped when changing items through the inventory while holding a weapon or utility item. No hot swapping. No hot swapping. What this means, guys, is there's probably been a time where, say, you go up against a warlock, he's got his book out, he's casting on you, and then out of nowhere, his sword is just in his hand. And he just hits you right in the face, and you're just dead. There was no time where he put up his book and pulled out his sword. It was just, there was no time delay. You were able to just manually swap one weapon to the other, known as the hot swap, and it would be instantaneous, and you wouldn't have to go through the hand animation. Pretty, pretty broken in a fight. When fights last just a few seconds, and you can shave off even 1 or 2 of those seconds of getting some burst or DPS out. That's pretty big. So I'm glad they fixed that. Fix an issue where utility items could fail to be equipped even after placing them in a slot. Fix an issue where some equipment icon images displayed white outer pixels. Fix an issue where replacing a cloak on a dead corpse might not show the newly replaced cloak. Fix an issue where a player who died could respawn in the same dead state if they re-entered the session. I have found my own body many times, and I assume that is what they are talking about. I have actually gotten to loot myself once and get my gear back. Fix an issue where the character might not grab the rope when escaping via rope. Okay. I haven't ran into that one. Fix an issue where the rope escape could not be canceled. I have never canceled my escape. I think it's weird that we have an option on one of many escapes that you can cancel it. Fix an issue where a character who escaped could enter the next floor with another team member who was knocked down. I have not had that happen. They're kind of lucky. Fix an issue where after moving to the next floor and a random matchmaking party, the recently matched party members might not appear in the pop-up after the game ends. I have had that happen many times. They are addressing some pretty good quality of life and just basic overall game stuff. This is great. Fix an issue where pressing ready and adding a new party member could trigger an error code. Yes, and many times you would have to just disband the party, completely re-invite everyone, and then ready up once again just to fix it. Fix an issue where after receiving a recovery, the item could still appear as if it hadn't been collected. Does this mean Goblin Merchant recovery and people just, they would see it and then they still wouldn't get it back? Does this imply we're still going to have Goblin Merchant? Or, because I don't know, they want to make it more tough I'm talking about HR, of course. They want to make HR more tough. Like, I figured they would take Gobby Merchant out. So it's interesting to see that they're still fine-tuning Gobby Merchant for the recovery service. Fix an issue where friend recovery might not work properly. Yeah, we ran into that and lost a couple expensive kits due to that. Fix an issue where a player entering the dungeon for the first time might crash to the character selection screen. Yes. This includes going down levels. I actually have a clip where I took a red. We killed everyone in Ruins. We fought like 3 to 5 teams. Everything went great. Everybody lived. Nothing happened. Nobody died. We took reds. My 2 teammates went down to crypts. I got sent back to the character selection screen, and I was completely naked. I lost my whole kit. This applies to many things. Okay, so they fixed an issue where your score might not be displayed when checking the leaderboard of another class. They fixed an issue where the religion window could be moved horizontally by right-clicking. Fixed an issue where after adding a similar achievement, the count of previous achievements might not be reflected. The database migration will be done during maintenance, but depending on database load or complexity, this may not be implemented this time. So basically, they're saying they're acknowledging this issue, but depending on how maintenance and everything goes, they may not actually implement it into it. But they're aware of it, and they know how to fix it, is what it sounds like. Okay, they fixed an issue where achievements might be reset if you escape and reconnect immediately after completing an achievement. Fix an issue where the item list could fail to load when entering the marketplace. Fix an issue where the random option drop-down menu from the item search function in the marketplace would not close when clicking another part of the screen. That's convenient, honestly. If you spend a lot of time playing Trade Simulator like some of us, that's kind of, it's a small quality of life feature, you know? Fix an issue where right-clicking on drop-down menus in places like the marketplace or trading post could trigger the engine's pop-up. Yes, that's annoying. Fix an issue where, when trying to change key bindings in options to input, the message instructing you to press escape could cause the options window to close if escape was pressed. Very frustrating. I know a lot of people have ran into this issue. All right. All right, finally, into the balance changes. This is what we probably all care about a lot more than anything else. One stands above all. You can no longer bunny hop. As a wizard, I feel like this is extremely detrimental to me. I live a lot more than just class balancing allows me to because of bunny hopping. It will be interesting to see rangers and rogues as well deal with this. I'm very curious to see the state of the game when we will be live when the game goes up today. To just go test it out, see how it feels. Mm. Added protection to prevent hot swapping of weapons in the inventory that allows for the instant equipping of weapons. What is this protection? Is it just like when you equip any piece of gear and it has the auto load? Is it the same thing just now for weapons? We'll see. Adjusted the armor rating curve to give slightly more PDR at the upper end. Interesting. Okay. I feel like they're trying to incentivize melee more instead of just range and ranger and wizards and warlocks and stuff all in, and druids just flooding HR. They flatten the physical damage bonus curve at the upper end. Okay, so rangers aren't just going to be able to stack crazy amounts. There's going to be a good curve, and at the upper end, obviously, it's going to stalemate. Believe most people would kind of refer to this as diminishing returns in a sense, once you reach a certain level, which can be data mined, and we can figure that out later. Updated the magical damage bonus curve so it now matches this same curve. Okay, that's fine. I think both of these things were these were very needed, 100% needed. All right, Arena's Dark Swarm now has 75% healing reduction. Fights in Dark Swarm were always a lot of fun, crazy, intense, and fast because everyone's dying. Even with a cleric, you do not get much healing. All right, so class balances officially. The only thing listed for Barb, surprisingly, reckless attack armor penetration changed from 85 to 75%. Very small, slight nerf. I don't think it really means much, or is very breaking in the way of how they play their class. Wizard, my main. Here we go. Ignite's duration changed from 15 seconds to 8 seconds. That's kind of a bummer. I feel like this is SDF's way of potentially trying to make other gear attributes more important. And what I mean by this is how many people actually stack buff duration. And now maybe we start stacking buff duration. Maybe. Maybe we just don't care. Maybe the player base just doesn't run Ignite anymore. We'll see. Anyway, next nerf. Haste duration changed from 8 to 6 seconds. I don't like seeing that, honestly. I think haste was fine, personally, as a wizard main who has put more time in the 10 spell than probably any other wizard in the game. Haste duration being reduced by 2 seconds is very detrimental. That it takes a second and a half to put your book up and keep running, and you're slow during that animation. I that sucks, but hey, everybody loves wizard nerfs that don't play wizards. So, and we always seem to get nerfs, but it seems like we get some buffs as well. Chain Lightning's attribute bonus ratio changed from 75 to 100%. This has been needed for so long. You get 2 charges on a spell that takes longer than almost any other spell to get back spell recovery wise for no reward. Such high risk, so much. If you miss one, you miss one. You know, you got one left. And this is all saying you're not running spell overload, of course, but it also takes a long time to charge up. There's so much here. so much here that this needed to be upped. If you hit a whole team with a chain lightning, it should be rewarding. So it's a small buff too, 25%. Okay, just to the bonus ratio. Okay, so it's not like a huge buff; it's very small. But Zap got the same buff. I love seeing this. I love seeing this. They are acknowledging the high MR in the dungeons. Fighters are stacking a lot more will. Barbarians with iron will. Uh, Clerics and warlocks and sorcerers, because they are naturally stacking so much will or already have enough base magic resistance, it is so hard to do so much damage to them. So this is nice to see that they're just giving us a little bit there. And also, I really think this is going to help. These three right here will really help on the 0 to 24 normal, no gear lobbies, where they said 50% of their player base is. So that might allow and incentivize other players to get better with Wizard without investing into gear to run into HR with. Explosion got the same buff, and I'm fine with that. It takes a very long time to get them back. You only have 4. They are a long cast time, and then also what people don't realize is that once you stick someone with an explosion, there's a few seconds before it blows up. It blows up on you. If you kill the wizard before it blows up, it cancels it. So it's nice to know that if you get these off, at least these two, chain lightning and explosion, it's nice to know that you will be rewarded for it. Okay, cleric. All right, Bless's duration changed from 30 seconds to 8 seconds. Big nerf on Bless. Probably worth it, especially because I feel like clerics are always running with a bard. And even if they aren't, 30 seconds to have any plus all is insane in a fight. It's just game breaking. Protections duration changed from 20 to 6. Divine Strikes duration changed from 20 to 6. There goes a lot. They left their healing alone. And I think that's okay because they're taking away a lot of just overall damage real quick, overall utility buffs, overall survivability. They're doing something. Let them experiment. We'll see what happens. Let's see what they did with Bard. Accelerando's duration changed from 8 to 6 seconds. Not bad. Allegro's duration changed from 8 to 6 seconds. That's really not bad. Let's see. Rousing Rhythms and Harmonic Shield got buffed. Double. Their duration got doubled. Okay. Harmonic Shield can now only be used as a self-target, though. Interesting. I'm curious to see how that feels in a team setting. Honestly. Warlock, Curse of Pain's instant damage attribute bonus ratio has been changed from 75 to 100%. Warlock is getting the same attribute bonus ratio that Wizard saw, most likely in response to the high magic resistance meleeer, range, and ranger meta that is currently being played. Darkness shards can now be stacked up to 2, each giving a 25% dark magical damage bonus. Okay. Okay. I feel like warlocks are going to complain about that. But okay. In demon form, the bonus to dark magical damage per darkness shard is changed to 25%. They did not like they are punishing demon form because of Life Bloom Druid, but they don't want to touch SDF's baby, so we leaving Druid alone. Speaking of Druid, let's see. They did get a slight nerf to the Tree of Life. Health bonus has changed from 40 to 20. All attribute bonuses changed from 5 to 3. Still get 3. They still get 3? Okay, whatever. Anyway, and duration changed from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Okay, whatever. And that's all we're doing with Druid, SDF said. All right, Sorcerer, a lot of changes here. This is going to be great. All right, so Water Bolt damage changed from 20 to 15. Nerf. Wind Blast range changed from 7 to 4. All right, I'm not going to change how I play at all because I get hit by this sometimes and sometimes I don't when I'm trying to outspace it. So, fuck it. Doesn't impact me except on Sorc you really are going to have to use it shotgun style. If someone's right on top of you, almost, which means it might be better just to run Vortex then, which is the merge spell that involves Wind Blast. Stone Skin movement speed penalty changed from -10 to -5. People might start running that again more. Fire Arrow, each damage changed from 10 to 8. It's because everyone stopped using it as homing missiles and started using it as a shotgun. So now you get it nerfed. Get wrecked. Flame Strike damage changed from 35 to 30. Hilarious. People were upset with that. I don't know if it really needed a nerf. I feel like it was more of a skill issue. If you got hit by it, you should have been able to hear it and anticipate where they were putting it down. And that's coming from someone that still dies to it. Fire Orb damage changed from 30 to 25. You guys were using it as a shotgun, and so they changed it. It wasn't meant to be used as a shotgun. Splash damage changed from 15 to 10 as well. Earth Elemental spell tier changed from 7 to 6. That's really good. I like seeing that. I don't like the costs for it as a sorcerer. If you run a build where you don't need spellcasting speed, it sucks to have to stack knowledge and memcap, truthfully. The HP of Earth Elemental and Lava Elemental increased by 50. Good. I could have a white crystal sword and no gear as a wizard and still just 1 or 2 tap those. Like, they were kind of obsolete. Electric Dash landing damage changed from 15 to 20. Oh, that was a slight buff there. Nice. I know they nerfed it heavily after Sorcerer was first pushed into the game, but now they've kind of given it a little bit more damage, which good. They need to incentivize more melee build on Sorcerer again since it got nerfed to the ground. Flamethrower damage changed from 10 to 20. Has anyone seen anybody actually use Flamethrower? Maybe they will now. Maybe they won't. I definitely did when it first came out, and it looked cool and it was fun, but yeah, it did no damage. So instead of just a 5 incremental damage too, they gave it a whole 10. That's going to hit. That might hit pretty hard. And it's damage from per second, right? I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. Mud Shield duration changed from 8 to 4 seconds. Yeah, I didn't have issues with Mud Shield when I would play Wizard because you just fireball their feet or around them or lightning strike them. But I'm sure a lot of classes ran into some serious issues with them being able to just forcefully W key and still throw out spells or do whatever or have their team fight for them just from behind the Mud Shield. Thorn of Earth damage changed from 25 to 30. People stopped running it. The animation takes way too long, and it's very easy to dodge, and the hitbox is kind of wonky. So maybe that will incentivize that. And that wraps up the balance changes for the classes. Let's look at these items that they are now talking about, and then we'll go into the game updates. And we'll be able to know and anticipate what is coming, okay? So it is now possible to receive 1 to 2 primary attributes when socketing a diamond. This is great. Say you wanted to put vigor, agility, will, knowledge onto an item with a diamond, you can only get +1 of that said attribute. Now you can roll it. It will be a chance, probability between whether you get a 1 or a 2 roll. Fizz damage bonus and magical damage bonus that can be attained through random modifier has been reduced. Okay, fuck it. Damage ratio for each section of the rapier has been changed. To what? To what? Has it been increased? Has it been reduced? Thanks for being so vague. Okay. Rondell's daggers, primary attack, 3 and 4 damage multiplier changed from 1.05 to 1.00. Is that really? All right, whatever. Castellan's dagger, primary attack, 3 damage multiplier changed from 1.3 to 1.4. They're acknowledging people don't use this dagger. Chris daggers, primary attack, 3 and 4 damage multiplier changed from 1.15 to 1.10. Slight reduce. Lantern Shield's counterattack damage multiplier changed from 1.25 to 1.15. They said it was too bis. I thought it was kind of cool to see everyone using Lantern Shield again, but who cares? Bardisha's primary attack, 2 damage multiplier changed from 0.95 to 1.05. Same thing for the Halberd as well. I feel like they didn't really need any sort of adjustments, and they were pretty solid where they were at, but let them cook. Let them cook. That was just my personal opinion, getting smacked by them most of the time. War Maul's primary attack 2 and 3 damage multiplier changed from 1.15 to 1.10. So now we're getting a reduction on the War Maul. Its attack 1 damage. So its first hit, though, got buffed, but 2 and 3 are not as heavy as they used to be, which I get 2 tapped either way. Even with the reduction on the second one, most classes are still going to die to the second hit. Windless Crossbow. Hey, this is what everyone's been waiting for. Reduced by 4 and armor pin changed from 40 to 35. I'll be honest, I don't think this is enough. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm just not good at estimating the math in my head. But if I'm thinking of a higher end level where everyone in HR is just spamming unique windless crossbows, I don't know if just 4 and 5% armor pin reduction is enough. We will see how many times I die to a windless. And you'll know too when Rangers are running them all the time. All right, game update time. Let's see what we got going on. Arena Test Season 2 is scheduled to end on March 10th. So today is March 8th as we are recording this, and the game updates have been released and patches about to go live. So 2 days, and then this current season that we have, where you have your current MMR, will be over, and they will want to start another one for the remainder of this wipe. You can now preview items which are available under the same package on the shop page. They added some report accuracy features. It displays data of the number of successful reports and bans in the UI. Please note that the data displayed here is for testing purposes, and the finalized system may display different data. This is great. They're acknowledging a lot here, and they are trying. They are trying. They want to make sure everyone feels heard, and just because you don't hear back on a report of a cheater, most likely means the guy just wasn't cheating. All right, it's not that they ignored you. Added an arena recent matches feature. That's going to be interesting. Kill cam, death cam maybe in there. That would be super cool. I love how vague these updates always are. Added new modules to crypts and ruins, and I'm assuming this is due to the random moduling. Added dual boss indicator. You can now check the boss's death status through the dual boss indicator. Ooh, people might abuse this a little bit just to see where people are at if the boss is dead or not, because it's relatively easy to find the boss, honestly, in crypts and Inferno. Added a new druid spell, Orb of Nature. I wish you would tell me what it does now, please. Added six new perks for Sorcerer. This is exciting here. I don't even want that. I just want this one highlighted. All right, we're gonna have the oh nope. Added 6 merged might. So maybe if you take just the standard spell merging perk, this merged might increase the damage of those. But hey, it takes up a perk spot too. You have innate talent. I bet that's going to be like a wizard's mana surge, just increase magic damage bonus. Elemental fury. That's going to be interesting. Maybe increase elemental damage. I don't know. Mana flow. Maybe that's a cooldown reduction one. Lightning mastery. I've been saying wizard needs that, and you give it to them? You give it to sorcerers? Whatever. And air mastery. That's going to be cool. I'm excited to see exactly what those do. And we'll put out, we might put out a video. We'll at least be covering it live on stream on Twitch, but we might put out a video about the new sorcerers, perks, and spells. Speaking of spells, we now have Aqua Prison, Frost Breath, Plasma Blast, and Frost Lightning. These last two right here are what intrigue me the most. Okay, they improved the visibility of players affected by the Cleric's Divine Strike buff, which previously obstructed too much of the screen. Nice. What about Holy Strike? What about that one? Improved the Lich's summoning animation by displaying an intuitive red shield to indicate the invincibility state. Okay, I'm cool with that. Improved excessively dark areas in the dungeons overall. Like you made them even more dark or just less dark because you emphasized excessively. Who knows what they mean ever. Improve the background of the Goblin Cave rope exit. Great, more rope quality of life stuff. Improve some props in the dungeons that were obstructing gameplay or needed visual improvements. I can think of a lot in Goblin Caves alone. Like, geez, here we go. The new high roller changes. Fog of War has been removed, so you will be able to see the full map of the layout as soon as you go in. As soon as you load in, you can see it. But your portals are randomized. This goes back to early playtest levels where you didn't know. You really had to listen to hear a portal spawn or really come across it organically having already spawned. You did not know where they would spawn. Everyone's used to seeing where the blues are on the map or in the module for where they spawn. That's not going to be there as much. Dark Swarm was added. People do not everyone knows what Dark Swarm is. It's just it's a closing circle. Like think of a gas cloud, poison cloud from other video games on these extraction types. It's just and it's randomized, and sometimes you have to run back into the dark swarm and take heavy damage to hopefully find another blue because there's not one in the final circle or there's not a red in the final circle. This is going to change the flow of the dungeon a lot, and I'm kind of excited to see what it does do and how the player base reacts. They also fix escaped down props deactivated. Some fixed escape down props deactivated. Yep, English. Change ruins to a random dungeon. Change goblin caves to a random dungeon. I've heard mixed reviews about both of these. Some people are super excited. Some people are very upset and have said that they will quit. So let's wrap this up by reading out the developer comments for what SCF has said, and then we'll get out of here and hopefully be able to play the game here in a few hours. They say it's down for 3, but do we ever know exactly how long it will be down? Usually you have to multiply by 2. Anyway, they say this update continues the expansion of the random dungeon system. The random dungeon system have now been applied to both the Ruins and Goblin Cave dungeons. We have also added numerous new modules to various locales. This update also adds more class content as we flesh out the Sorcerer class with new perks and spells, which we just covered. In our quest to make the game more accessible, we feel we have made good progress with the current normal game modes. However, we also feel that we have lost a lot of the hardcore edge we originally intended. They're right, it is way too easy to get in and out of a dungeon compared to what it used to be when I started playing. In the past, we had pursued the strategy of pushing the high roller mode as the definitive end goal for all players, and tried to press players into that mode by retaining a high level of consistency between the normal and HR modes. Recently, our thinking has changed, and we now look at the high roller experience as a uniquely separate experience from the normal mode. I like how they started that, saying that in the past they looked at it as the definitive end goal, and then they just made it too accessible for the player base. So I'm curious to see the changes that they will continue to make to High Roller. Our goal for High Rollers is no longer broad appeal or high participation, but a return to the true hardcore playground that serves as a high-end test for only the strongest willed players and parties. We believe that the original versions of Dark and Darker, with the Dark Swarm circles, random portals, are more aligned with this vision, and we will be testing the return of that system for the HR dungeons. Please understand that there will be growing pains as we tune the system to properly work along with the new random dungeons and continuous matchmaking system. We will also need time to better adjust the rewards for surviving the match or surviving the much more brutal HR dungeons. So maybe they scale the loot better. That'd be nice. I'm just saying, chat. That'd be real nice. Unfortunately, our internal capacity has limits in finding the correct balance for the new HR dungeons, and our goal is to fine tune the system along with the hardcore community so we can properly release a return to the hardcore dungeons by the start of the next season. So, a lot of this new content we're getting in this season is strictly in preparation for next season. We also like to notify players that the current Arena Test Season 2 will be ending soon in March. Please see the timer in the Arena leaderboard for the precise date. We've collected good data and we'll be making some adjustments for Arena Test Season number 3, which will begin shortly afterwards. Please note that the shortened Arena Test Season 3, we plan to temporarily allow players to keep their items after a loss, even if the item is not minted. So you didn't craft it, you didn't find it in the dungeon, you just bought it off the marketplace, you can go take it into Arena. We also plan to update the map rotation for the next Arena season, including the addition of new modules. So, a couple days with the current maps, and then we get new maps. I'm excited. What modules are they going to use? Are they going to be better? Are they going to be worse? Or are they going to be about the same? Finally, players will now be able to see their ban report data for the cheaters they have reported. The data is displayed for a rolling reporting period, which is currently set at the previous 30 days. We plan to utilize this data to make large improvements to the reporting system and build a cleaner experience for everyone. We thank you for your continued support and see you in the dungeons. So, chat. Finally, we have waited for an update. We have waited for a patch. We have waited for some content. We have waited to, as a player, not as a developer or game designer, but as a player, be able to see and feel the changes that they have talked about repeatedly. So I think this is a good patch. I think this is a great, step in the right direction. They are thinking heavily about the future by also looking into the past. I think we can really come out of this and still have a lot of fun. Uh, Please feel free to let me know in the comment section below your thoughts. Do you hate it? Do you love it? What do you wish you could see? What do you wish you couldn't see? And then let me know if it helped you out having us put out this video so you didn't have to go through, read it all, or you at least got to hear my thoughts. Feel free to follow me on Twitch. As always, I appreciate everyone. Your support means a lot, and I will see you next time. Later, guys.